Want candy now?
What is going on, everybody? Nasdorachi coming back at you again today with another episode for Dragon Ball Z.
Nani?
Now, what we're covering today is going to be the version 1.12 update. All the little bits and pieces they've changed, which isn't really all that much at a surface level, but we're going to cover all that quickly. As well, we do have a new Saiyans Unleashed. I don't remember what the name of the actual banner is, but there's a banner that's featuring the buff Trunks and buff Vegeta that we see fighting Stage 2 Cell, or semi-perfect Cell, and then Perfect Cell a little bit before he beats the ever-living crap out of them, sends them to the ground, and then sets up the Cell games. So that's what we're looking at today. Unfortunately, Kamikolo is not on the banner as well. We were thinking there would be a sparking version of Kamikolo on here as well, but the only three new units we're looking at is in fact the Vegeta, the Trunks, and then an EX Android 17. So we're going to cover them really quickly, but first let's jump into all the announcements and quickly get through that. Something that I got a lot of comments and questions about as well before we jump into everything is I got a lot of questions about how I have 52 gifts, so I just want to answer that now. If you guys do hit 999 skip tickets, the rest that you get will overflow into your gift box. It's super annoying, takes up tons of space, and I never even purchased the skip ticket bot. So for anyone that was curious about how I got so many gifts, they're all freaking overflow skip tickets, which is super annoying again. But it is what it is. They're like, what is it? The Bubbles medals from Dokkan that I can never seem to freaking get rid of because nobody uses them to awaken with, like talk about. So starting from the bottom, or the least important stuff, I'm not even going to go over this intentional disconnections. It's the same message they keep putting out. They know that people are using mods and hacks and trying to disconnect to gain points, so don't do it. You can get your rank reset, you can get your account banned. Although I haven't talked to anyone that that's happened to, I would assume that it's definitely possible. End of maintenance notice. There's nothing really important in here. We did not get any free Chrono Crystals for the maintenance. We do have a new story mode in the book with Frieza, so part 2 of the main story. We've got some new chapters in there. As well, there's a new difficulty of job requests. So I earned some of those from PvP. We'll check those out in a second here. But you can accept multiple mission rewards at once, as well in the actual events, missions, and those types. I was thinking adventures for a second. But there's an accept all button, which is really awesome. It was really tedious having to wait. But it gave me something comical to edit for you guys with Jeopardy music and fast forwarding stuff. But they have fixed that. Adjusted the RP earned in rating matches when you are playing against bots. I'm not going to throw out any specific names because I have some friends that did this, but back in the other previous seasons, there were people farming bots to get to the top of the leaderboards, so they weren't cheating by any means, they weren't disconnecting and stealing points, but they were just fighting the AI over and over again to gain a massive amount of points. So we'll see how that's potentially affected this season and how it affects the leaderboards, whether you can even do that anymore. So I'm not a huge fan of it, but you know, I do all my matches fighting other real human beings to the best of my ability. Adjusted some character voices. That's cool because some of the English voices sounded really weird. Turles is kind of weird. A couple others that I've noticed. And selecting multiple boost panels, but some various error fixes. We're not going to waste too much time talking about that, but be sure to read that. New story. Training grounds renewal. There's been a huge revamp to the training system. Now, these different items are gated behind different tiers of levels. So, for example, if your character is over level 300, you cannot use the training weights, and that applies all the way down the list, except for this silver bell, which you can get by not logging into the game for an excessive amount of time. They'll give you some. You can buy them. Some of them will come with some sales that are associated in the store. And I believe every multi-summon you do, they give you one or a few of them. I'm not sure how many. We'll find out that as well in a little bit. But yeah, so the training system has been revamped. More EXP. You can get your characters to level 1500 faster. This is super useful because we're getting tons of new characters. We're going to get Cell and another version of Goku and whoever else. Androids 16 hopefully coming soon. Gohan. So anything that gets these characters more competitive quicker so you can build new teams is awesome in my book. I'm definitely excited about that. because I'm not a huge fan of grinding the same stages over and over again, you guys. I don't know about you, but coming from Dokkan, I mean, I like grinding if there's some variety, but the same levels over and over again, not so much. Just like last PvP season, there was a battle PvE where you could farm the EX unit, again, outside of having to play against other players. It is now the red type EX Vegeta that you can farm. There's EX 1, 2, 3, and 4 stages. It's a great way to get red souls to upgrade not only this Vegeta, but any other red cards that you may get, because Super Saiyan Trunks and Goku, and maybe even Vegeta as well, the older ones, are returning on this banner. So plenty of red cards that need souls, and this is a good place to get them. Nothing crazy here, just like the last time the stages used 2 energy for you to play. It's literally, if you guys farmed the Android 18 at all last season, it's identical to that. And then the real meat and potatoes here is the new banner. We're looking at a yellow type Vegeta and a green type Trunks. Both of them are the Steroids version coming out of the Hyperbolic Time Chamber, where they've almost leveled up to Super Saiyan 2, but they put too much physical brute strength into their training, and they didn't work on being agile and swift. So it is the Ascended Super Saiyan, but not Super Saiyan 2, unfortunately. They don't get that till later. Well, Trunks doesn't get it, I guess, till Super, but Vegeta, we'll hopefully see Majin coming up here, and not too long into the future, which is a banner that I personally will be super excited for. I love Super Buu, the Majin Buu arc just in general, I think is my favorite section of Z, other than the direct fight between Goku and Frieza on Namek. So we'll check out those cards here in 1 second. I kind of wanted to look at just a few things in the Adventures tab. So we do have this Z1 rank job here. Checking this out in the details, success reward is only Zenny at the Brilliant City, max selectable characters. So out of that, nothing really looks out of the ordinary. Let's pick one that's the Blue Depth, see what we get here. Just no Zenny, no training items, just purely souls. We'll have to see how many we get. I'm not going to queue this up right now, but I'll come back and do this after I'm done filming. But you guys, make sure you check this out. This will probably be a great way to get all the various currencies that we need to upgrade our characters. And then let's check out the missions. I already did all these, so let's hit the accept all missions. But you can earn another free 1,000 Chrono Crystals, as well as some various other rewards from just playing the game. However, they did change it to where they want you to play ranked match now. So you cannot get all the challenges just doing casual mode like you could before in the past. You actually do have to play the ranked mode, but there's no funky teams you need to bring, no special characters. It's literally just playing and winning matches. So we'll accept all on that, see how that works. Oh, that's cool. So it just gives us everything, boom, right there. 1,000 crystals, lots of fuel for the gravity chamber, 500 more exchange medals, and ooh, Zenny, I'm happy about that. Alright, so let's grab that. We're going to do a multi-summon on the new banner. Of course, we can't carry any more skip tickets. So, ooh, we're almost level 69 too. Nice. Alright, let's check out, just real quick, I want to hop into to see what the training is. There any limited time training yet? Nope, they're still sleeping on that right there. And just kind of nothing too crazy here. I don't have any of the bells yet. I believe the backdrop looks like Kami's Lookout when you're going to use the bells, and they only take like 3 minutes. So definitely a great resource there. Alright, PvP, anything new and interesting in here? Wow, I dropped from rank 500 to outside the ranks really quickly, you guys. I was rank 500 before I started recording. Alright, well anyway, nothing too crazy there. Anything season rewards? Nope, everything's fairly standard. So let's go check out the new units on the new banner really quickly. We'll try and breeze through that, do our summon, and conclude things as fast as possible. So that's cool. It says it comes with a freebie. Oh, we get 10 of them. So every consecutive summon you do, you'll get 10 of these bells right here. So featured characters. The Vegeta gets a final flash on his blue card. I've been dying to see what this looks like because I did not check it out in the Reddit Discord, where I know it was posted a little early. So, oh, that's beautiful. Just like in the summon animation, but we can actually unleash it on people. And he's got an Ultimate Arts card here, so let's check this out briefly too. Super excited. Oh, Vegeta is #1. Kick him. Oh, that rushdown where he kicks Cell, the stage 2 Cell, and then he does a final flash to finish it off. That is amazing right there. Let's check out the stats here. So they're actually not bad. The blast attack was, I know Krillin on the last banner we were looking said 40,000, but that was before the 1500 upgrade. So he's definitely range type, blast oriented, in contrast to the other red Super Saiyan Vegeta we have, who is strike type. This will be kind of a Super Saiyan version of the purple sparking Vegeta we already have. Hopefully he's a little bit more tanky though. And we like to see that he comes with at least a mixed bag of cards here, but as a ranged character, we wouldn't have minded the 2 yellow cards. I just find that I have a lot of yellow cards, more so than red in almost all of my decks here. Nothing out of the ordinary on his strike or blast cards. Final Flash deals major impact, causes enemies to receive 10% more blast damage for 15 timer counts, so he'll buff his own yellow card usage. The green card here, plus 15% to blast damage inflicted for 15 timer counts, minus 5 to own blast arts cost for 10 timer counts. So kind of like a double-edged buff there, both good things, so you'll get not only a reduction of the cost of your yellow cards, but you'll get buff damage, which will stack with the Final Flash there, so you can get 25% buff. Not really that impressive in terms of buffs. In terms, like we see, yellow sparking Gohan can use just the green card to get, boom, 20% to both strike and blast, and then his main abilities 50%. So he is a little lacking on the buff numbers there, but when you throw everything together and the ultimate arts, we will be happy with this card if we happen to pull it. I probably will get dog crap luck, but it is what it is. Final Chase, that was the move where was the kick combo into the Final Flash. Major impact damage, plus 30% to own key recovery for 10 timer counts. That'll help him throw out a couple extra yellow cards, so we appreciate that. Very similar mechanic here to every other Ultimate Arts card in the game. Use the main ability. After 25 seconds, you will draw the special combo card. The Z ability, 24% to tag Super Saiyan, blast attack, and critical damage during battle. So we do have a couple other cards in the game, which I don't remember off the top of my head, but there is viability to building a crit buff team. I believe this will be a variation in the meta that will be potentially viable moving forward. Put a bunch of units down that buff crit chance and crit damage, and when you do crit, you will be doing a crap ton of damage, especially if it happens during a Rising Rush or on a blue card, anything like that. So unique ability here, Pride, blast attack up. This is honestly the most unique feature about this card, and it's what makes him stand out well above any other card we've seen so far. I love how they keep doing that as they release new units in the game here. But we have blast damage inflicted, increases according to the number of timer counts elapsed with the current character, up to 70%. So this is why we're seeing much less of an impact of the buffs on his blue card and on his green card, because this is just absurd right here, phenomenal. When you stack this with those buffs on the blue and green card, you'll be at a 95% on your damage buff to yellow cards. Basically, the game wants you to keep Vegeta in the field. The longer he's in the field, the more damage he will get. As you can see right here, 5, 10, and 15 counts, it'll scale up, and then that will reset every time you swap him out. So again, the game, it wants you to use Vegeta and keep him on the field. Your enemy is going to also probably know that and try and play around that with counter types. So you might want to save Vegeta towards later in the fight when you've eliminated his counter, if that's an option for your enemy. And then you bring him out and just leave him out there to raffle stomp the rest of your enemy's team. So next up here, the second unique ability, Intimidate, blast defense down, afflict attribute downgrades, plus 20% to blast damage received to enemy every time this character joins the battlefield. So every time you sub him in, your enemy will then be receiving an extra 20% to blast damage received. That can only apply, it seems from the wording here, to the enemy that you are facing, so they will be able to swap that enemy out. But maybe you can combine this with Bardock if you have him to lock that in, then switch to Vegeta, throw down all the buffs you can. Of course, you'll only start with, lower blast attack, but you can get up to the 60% before Bardock's main will wear off, the 10 timer counts, and they can switch back out. So with the Intimidate, when you swap Vegeta in and all his other buffs, he is going to be buffing himself by, 115% to the blast damage potential he can do to the enemy. So this card is going to be a great high DPS card. you just take some time to sit out in the battlefield and get rolling, and then strategically plan your buffs and your moves out so that you can just do a massive amount of damage with a beautiful Final Flash card. Next up here, we have the Super Trunks. He does not have an Ultimate Arts card. He has a very strong main ability, though. We'll check that out in a second. I believe this is the Finish Buster, but don't quote me on that. Yep, Finish Buster there. So, pretty straightforward. Good-looking animation, though. This is a new character model in the game. We have not seen this version of Trunks yet with the Saiyan armor. So they did go out and make a whole new character model for this guy right here. So we can appreciate that. Going into the stats here, he is the strike damage version to complement Vegeta. He actually has a unique ability that works well when you pair them together also. So they're kind of opposites that complement each other well here. Much more favoring that strike damage, and coming with 2 red cards, so no yellow card nonsense like other strike cards like Sparking Gohan that come with yellow cards. So we like to see that right there. Now, this is the first time in the game that I know of, other than stuff like Pierce damage and Frieza's red card that can plow through yellow cards, that we've actually seen a direct modifier on a red card. So with every red card Trunks uses, you have a 5% chance to inflict Faint or Stun, if you're familiar with Pikkon or the original Spirit Bomb Goku's special move, or Broly. You have the 5% chance to inflict that, which is very low. 5 out of every 100 red cards. It doesn't seem like very much, but he's got an additional buff to that too. Still, a really cool effect that Trunks can punch you so hard that you get stunned. Kind of like Street Fighter when you really whoop up on someone and then they're stuck with the birds flying around their heads. So, love to see new stuff in the game. Not going to complain at all. Nothing unique on the yellow card, and it was the Buster Cannon here. It deals major explode damage, causes enemy to receive 10% more strike damage for 15 timer counts. Just like the new Vegeta, his blue card is just complementing what he does. And I didn't mean to hit the X there. So the green card here, plus 15% to strike damage inflicted for 15 timer counts, 10% chance to inflict Faint for 10 timer counts upon landing a strike arts. So when you use the green card, it'll buff you to a 15% chance to inflict Faint on your enemy for that first red card you use in those 10 seconds. Or maybe it's every red card for 10 seconds. That would even be better. It seems like that's what it is. So for 10 seconds, every red card gives a 15% chance instead of a 5% chance to inflict the Faint or the Stun. So this Trunks is actually quite useful right here. The stun mechanic is super annoying, and it's just really great when it goes off and you can just get free hits on people. You don't have to worry about wasting your Vanish meter at all to bait people. Just good free hits, meaty combos. We love that. So the main ability here, True Power, 75% to strike damage inflicted for 10 timer counts, plus 10 to own strike arts cost, and minus 50 to own Vanish Engage recovery for 15 timer counts. So this plays in quite nicely with the actual anime and what's going on at that point in the series itself. Trunks is obviously so buff and so big that he slows himself down and he hampers his true fighting potential because he's so roided out like Broly or Arnold or whoever you want to associate him with. But because of that, it increases the cost of his strike arts and he cannot vanish nearly as often. So not good on that second part, but with that 75% buff to strike damage, it's well worth it. And because it's unique to the series, you know, I like it. I'm not going to complain. Z ability, more buffs for the Hybrid Saiyans team, making them even closer to being a fully viable team here. 24% to base strike attack and base critical during battle. So this one again is for Hybrid Saiyans, but it is that kind of effect on critical that I had mentioned earlier, where we can start to see a crit meta establishing in the game here. Intimidate, he has basically the same thing as Vegeta, 20% to strike damage received instead of blast. Vegeta is blast oriented, but same thing again, 20% to strike damage received to enemy every time this character goes onto the battlefield. So again, it'll apply to that enemy. They can swap out of it, but very cool that he has an effect that's very similar to Vegeta because they did all that training together in the Hyperbolic time chamber. They are almost like mirrors of each other, opposites that are the same. Super cool. Avenge Vegeta, so very similar to how Krillin gets a buff towards Goku when he dies. This will be the same thing when Vegeta dies. Trunks will get a buff. As you know, in the series, Cell takes out Vegeta first, and then Trunks steps in to try and take him down. So this ties in quite nicely with that. We have the new Extreme 17. That's cool they're throwing Extreme units on here now, because before, I'm not entirely sure. Well, the other banners, they had mostly new sparking. So we got the new 17 on here. Just going to go through him really quickly. He's kind of a mini version of the Sparking 17, but just strike damage oriented instead of blast damage. Comes with 2 red cards. Stats are fairly similar to what you'd see for an EX card here, and nothing out of the ordinary on red or yellow. The full power energy ball, I'm assuming this is going to look, because I didn't click on it, but I'm assuming it's going to look very similar to Android 18's purple energy ball. Major explode damage, plus 15% to blast damage inflicted for 15 timer counts. So he is a melee character, so this kind of cross buff right here is not as useful as it could be, but honestly, he's a really great bench character on your red teams. Don't even worry about putting him on an Android's team. He can go great on any red team. 20% buff to strike damage for 20 timer counts. Unlike Sparking Gohan, he doesn't buff both his ki and his melee attacks, so unfortunately, it's just the EX card curse right there, just everything being not quite as good. Limitless Energy, however, pretty good. Just gives him 60 ki back immediately, allows you to continue your combos a little longer, or start a new one if you have a blue card. You can use this blue card straight into another blue card, however you want to dish out that type of pain. Just be aware that if you are doing really long combo strings, the damage will start to scale down over time. So you do 5 red cards in a row, use this, do out 3 more, making it 8. Those final 3 red cards are going to be doing significantly less damage than the first 1 and 2 you did entering the combo. So you will have to play around that mechanic. Again, how I mentioned a second ago, he's a great bench character on your red teams. 22% to red base, blast attack, and defense during a battle. So he's a double stat buffer, just only the blast attack. So again, great for your bench red teams. And like the Sparking 17, he as well has a little bit less severe version of the damage cut, like Piccolo, like the EX Trunks. So when you swap him in, it'll lessen the damage you are receiving on that combo there. It's very useful, very tanky mechanic, but this card is not quite as tanky as the other 17, so again, this is a baby version of the Sparking 17, but his true value is just in that bench slot on that red team. Those are the only 3 new units. We claimed all of the PvP related stuff, so we do have enough for 1 multi. Again, I hope you guys have amazing luck. I thought I hit the download all button. I really thought I hit the download all button this time. So maybe this will be the new EX17 right here, because it's not looking like it's going to be a sparking pull. But I thought I hit download all. It looks like we are getting the new EX17 though, because it said downloading right there. Interesting. I'm actually going to go hit that button before I do the multi. Okay, but we got a bench unit for the red team right there. I'm not upset about that at all. Give me 1 second, you guys. I'm going to go hit the download all button, so just in case we get anything new on the multi, it won't be spoiled, for lack of a better term. Alright, so we are back. I did hit the download all button. We're going to run through the rest of the daily singles here. So I do like to hit that. I don't like to kind of be forewarned if I'm getting anything new or good. That was poop animation, so we can skip that. Kind of get through these as quick as possible here. Oh lord, limit breaks always slow me down. Alright, was it 2 more dailies left or 1 more? Androids here. Let's do another one. My luck has been really bad recently, you guys, so I hope that you guys have been having much better luck than me. I haven't gotten a new sparking unit in quite a while. I did walk out with Frieza and Krillin and all the androids and stuff like that, but could not get my hands on Bardock. So still missing him and the one-handed Spirit Bomb Goku. What is this? We got a lot of pods on this daily. This is the Frieza banner, if I'm not mistaken. He's beating us up right now. Alright, just blue tech, so even though there were a lot of pods, probably won't be anything good. And I blew up in the middle too there. Bleh. But an EX unit, I will take another Extreme Vegeta. Alright, so again, I hope you guys do have great luck if you did, or if you make any pulls on this banner. I'd love to know what you got down in the comments. And if for whatever reason you're waiting for now to do any pulls, this is the time, and keep our fingers crossed. I know I'm going to get shit on here. I know I am, because my luck has been awful recently. It's really bad. So, we want those bells, though, just in case we get someone new. Again, lots of pods. Kind of draw on the physical type portion there. Only blue text, so don't think we're going to be seeing anything good here. Oh, all bad signs, you guys. All bad signs. It's going to be a bunch of hero units. So, hopefully you guys came out with something new and spicy. And another 19 there. And 20, yay! I love seeing old units on a fresh new banner. But yeah, that's about all we're gonna get, you guys. It's gonna be EX cards, and well, maybe I'll do one more single. I don't know. We got a single here. Ooh, 1 EX, delicious. So it looks like I'm gonna be continuing to use my old PvP teams from last season, and I don't know. There's a little less to do in the game because I don't have someone new to level up, but I will keep banking for new units in the future, just in case, because I'm sure like every other game, these will continue to return. These units will be recycled on other banners. So, yeah, it's gonna be doo-doo. It's gonna be a hero. Hero Cell. Cell in perfect cell. He's such a hero. So anyway, you guys, that's about all I had to cover today. I'm sorry it's been a few days since my last video, but there wasn't much going on in the game. It's kind of stale towards the end. I need to make more PvP videos for you guys, but I'll try and get around to doing that more often. But now that we've got some new stuff out, try and farm up some new stories, see if we can get some new crystals, hit level 70, and see if we can't do another summon for these guys. But hopefully you can get a good idea of how to build these units. New metas with Super Saiyan themed teams are definitely going to be a thing. This Vegeta right here fits great onto mono yellow team, or kind of yellow, yellow, blue. That's when I say mono yellow, that's kind of what I mean. Just yellow focus team. Trunks is great on your green teams, although I'm not sure he's better than Bardock. He's definitely better than some of the bench units you may have had on there. Just remember that out of the 2 units, Trunks is going to be a little bit more selfish on a color theme team because he doesn't provide buffs to green, he just does the Hybrid Saiyans buff. So maybe it's almost time to start building that team using both Trunks if you manage to snag both of them. But anyway, you guys, I've talked long enough. Hopefully, again, you guys did have amazing luck. Comment down below any questions, polls, comments, complaints, anything like that. If you enjoy the video, give me a thumbs up. It definitely helps me out. But if you're not all about that, no worries. I don't mind. Thumbs down too if you didn't like it. And if you are new around here, I would love to see you again on future videos. So consider subscribing. And until next time, which should be soon, I will see you guys around. And just kind of throwing this out there, I'm highly considering making content for the new Doom game when that comes out. Potentially Spider-Man, the Elder Scrolls, or Fallout if I decide to get either of those, Red Dead. So even though there will always be a home for Legends on this channel, don't be surprised in the future if you happen to see something else. I'm getting a new desk, new office eventually set up so I can expand. But until the next Legends video, I will see you guys soon. Good luck and peace out, y'all. Have a good one.